Good morning, all of you. Myself Vishal Mhatre. I am from Pune, Maharashtra. I completed my UG from the College of Horticulture, Pune, Maharashtra, under the MPK Virahuri, and I did my MSc from the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi. And currently, I am pursuing PhD from the same institute, that is IRI, New Delhi. So today I was alerted with mango and grape for the this lecture series in fruit science lecture series. So basically, what I have done, I will tell that I tried to touch most of the aspects in both the crops, but as many those summary type or objective type questions or summaries are available in many books, so I've tried to cover all the content which is not available easily available in the books. So I hope you will read other books and we will supplement all this with this. So let's begin with the mango. As we all know that mango is the king of fruit in India, particularly India. We say mango as a king of fruit, also known as national fruit of India, the pride of garden, the choicest fruit of Hindustan, and the part and parcel of rural life, as mentioned by the RNC. So there are various names dedicated for the mango due to its importance in rural as well as urban life. So first we'll start with the fruit composition. Uh, in mango fruit, there is around 80% content is water. Around 17% carbohydrates are present. Potassium is around 150 milligram per 100 gram. Mango is also the richest, highest source of vitamin A, which around 4,000 international units of the vitamin A. Flavor in case of mango is a function of carbohydrates, organic acid, various lactones, monoterpene, hydrocarbons, and fatty acids. And the particularly one peach-like flavor, which mango, which is attributed to the presence of the lactones. And most of the times, this question was asked and may be asked. The predominant sugar in case of the ripe mangoes is sucrose, and also you have to remember this sucrose is the in major concentration in case of the mango, while some other fruits contain fructose or glucose, but in case of the mango it is richest in the sucrose. Dominant organic acid, which is citric acid, and other acids, malic acid or other acids are also present, but the dominant is the citric acid. The ripe mangoes also rich in vitamin C, provitamin A, as well as the vitamins B1 and B2. So first, we'll start with the taxonomy. Mango basically placed in the Sapindus order. Families Anacardiaceae consist of the 73 genera. Around 850 species are included in this family. The genus Mangifera, it's having its origin in Southeast Asia, or we can say particularly Indo-Myanmar, or previously called as the Burma region. And the most confusion stays around the chromosome number of mango. So I have highlighted it here. The basic chromosome number of mango is X is equal to 20. So the diploid chromosome number, mango basic, first you should know that mango is not a tetraploid, it is a diploid, and chromosome number is 2n is equal to 2x is equal to 40. So how the mango got its name Mangifera indica? In 1605, Carol Clusius first initiated this taxonomy for nominating mango scientific name. Initially, he mentioned them as the mangas and amba. In 1658, Bontius gave the genus Mangifera, and in 1747, Linnaeus turned it as a Mangifera arbor, and in 1753 Linnaeus again changed it to Mangifera indica as we currently know it. So several people tried to classify mango in different sections, genera, or different classes. Among them, the Hooker was the first one who divided the mango in different sections. After that came Marchand, Engler, Peary. Mukherjee also in 1949 tried to classify the mango, and also reported about mentioned about 41 species of mango, but only he could report about 39 species. After that, Ding Hao, and finally arrived Kostermans and Bompard in 1993. who gave the whose classification we currently follow. So, what the basis was on the based on the floral morphology or the main character, which was the disc base of the ovary, whether it is a disc-like or the broad, depending on he classified the his genus into two subgenera. The first one is the limers, and second is the mangifera. So limers includes the 11 species, and the mangifera includes 47 species. The limers, which is having a disc which is narrower than the base of the ovary, or stalk-like, or even lacking, or we can call as wanting. So again, limers he divided into two different sections, decidui and perennials, and different species like cassia, kemanga, pajang, superba, blomistoni, possibly decandra, and laginiflora he classified into the section decidui. And in case of the perennial section, he classified Fortida, Leschnolti, Macrocarpa, Odorata. So as such, you cannot remember these kind of species. You can make short acronyms for remembering them. As I mentioned, it's CKPS BDL for the Decidia, perennials as a phloem. So you can easily remember them. Again, he classified another genus. He proposed that is the Mangifera. It includes the 4 sections and 47 species. In this case, it is disc is broader than the ovary, which was narrower in case of the limus, and cushion-like, often divided into 4 to 5 lobes. Again, these 4 subsections are proposed as the Marchandora by Pierre, which including only 1 species, Euanthera Pierre, including the 3 species, Rava, which was proposed by Kostuman, having 9 species. Rava particularly means marshy lands, and Mangifera, finally, again, subsection of this genera, which was proposed by Tinghao, including the 34 species. So, another group of the uncertain species containing uncertain taxonomic position, in which 11 species they placed. So, totally, how they got these 69, including the limus 11 plus Mangifera 47 species, and species 11 species of uncertain origin. So, concluding to the 69 species in this genera. So moving towards the species diversity, as it is believed that Mangifera first appeared during the Quaternary period. In addition to Mangifera indica, there are at least 26 other species which are edible and are primarily found in the Southeast Asia region. Mangifera cassia, which is also known as binjai or keman in Southeast Asia, which is being cultivated in Java, it bears fruit in the mango off season. Another species is Mangifera foetida, which is less commonly cultivated because its fruit is highly astringent, but it is widely used for pickling or substitute for tamarind. You can note down that which species of mango can be used as a substitute for tamarind or pickling. So Mangifera foetida is that species. Another Mangifera cayman and Mangifera altissima are consumed as fresh fruit as well as used as green in salads. The occurrence of flowering in Mangifera laginifera, also known as lancet, occurs only once in 5 to 10 years. This is also the important point you should note down. Another is Mangifera laginifera and decandra. These two species are having 10 stamens, but out of 10, only 5 are fertile. So, which are the species which are containing 5 fertile stamens? You can answer them as laginifera and decandra. But the flowers and fruits of Mangifera subsessilifolia are still unknown till today. So, Mangifera pajang, another species which is cultivated or known in Borneo, largest known fruits in the genus. It is having a rough potato brown rind like skin which can be peeled off like a banana. Another unique species of the genus is Mangifera we can say. It's having a labyrinthine seed where the inner intimates of the cotyledons penetrate the cotyledons, and this species is unique and having numerous irregular fields inside, holes inside the stone. Another is Mangifera Kasturi, a favorite among the Banajis people in South Kalimantan, becoming completely black at maturity. And orange pulp is very sweet, palatable, and resembles honey mango, or also known as a manga madu in grown in East Java. It appears to be resistant to anthracnose. Here you have to should remember that another species, Mangifera lorena, which is immune to this disease, whereas this Kasturi is resistant to the anthracnose. Again, these species are classified into different habitats as per their growing habitats. The first one is swamp forest in the marshy conditions. The three species known as Manifera jodipi, graffiti, or parvifolia. These are particularly found in this swamp forest and having the potential for cultivating the mango in flooded regions. Species which are grown in submontane forest more than a height about 1000 meter or occasionally up to the 1700 meter above the sea levels. The species are Manchifera bombardi, tonganiensis or Orophila. So these species, although they are growing in such a high altitude, they can be a potential sources for growing the mangoes in high altitude regions. Another species, so few species which are seasonally grown in dry climates or in deciduous or semi-deciduous forest include Mangifera calonura, Mangifera colina, timorensis, or silanica. So for drought tolerant drought conditions, we can use for crop improvement species. So for north of the tropic cancer, the species like Australianensis persiciformis in China, Sylvatica in Sikkim and southern China at altitudes 600 and 1900 meter above sea level, these species are grown. So one more thing you will notice that the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, that is IRI in New Delhi, has been recognized as the International Society for Horticultural Sciences (ISHS) as the International Registration Authority for mango, whose mission is to consolidate superfluous names of mango cultivars. And this ISHS is located at headquarters at Leuven, Belgium, as you all might be knowing. I tried to classify mango according to season or fibrousness or firmness. So, as according to season, they are classified as early season or mid season or late season mango cultivars. The most earliest, which will we can say Banganpalli or another Bangalore, Bombay, Jadalu, Ranipasan, or Gulab Khas. These are the early maturing cultivars. The mid-season cultivars like Langra, the Sherry, Kasul Khas, Sagar. The late-season cultivars like Fazli, Chausa, Milam, Amrapali, and Kadki. According to fibrousness, the Sukul and Baramasia cultivars are having most fiber content, highly fibrous. Moderately fibrous cultivars like Fazli, Sepia, Timoria. And the cultivars like Langra, the Sherry, Jehdalu, Amrapali, Mallika, Rani Pasand, and most of the new hybrids developed by IRI, which are fiberless. And the firmness, according to firmness, Langra and the Sherry are having soft pulp. Sukul Baramasia is having loose pulp as they are very highly fibrous. And Bangalora, Mallika, and Alfonsa Bangalora is also Tutapuri. So these are having the firm pulp. That's why they are most preferred for the processing trades. As far as the domestication of the mango cultivars or mango species is concerned, the most of the monoembryonic cultivars were originated in subtropical, domesticated in subtropical Indian region, whereas the polyembryonic cultivars were domesticated in Southeast Asian tropical regions. So here I have given few important hybrids or cultivars developed, and among these, the Mallika, which is the first hybrid developed through the hybridized systematic plant manner, which is the cross of Neelam into the Sherry, and it's the regular, semi-dwarf, and suited for processing. This was developed around in 1971-72, and another is Amrapali, which is a hybrid of the Sherry into Neelam. It is distinctly dwarf and highly suitable for high-density planting, as recommended by at the spacing of 2.5 meter by 2.5 meter, which is also late maturing, and it is plentiful of fiberless pulp, high TSS around 22 Brix, and it is the cultivar which is highest in mango carotenoid contents. It's around 16,830 microgram per 100 gram of the pulp. So don't get confused with another varieties. The Amrapali is the highest carotenoid content cultivar. The Pusa Arunima is another which with the main objective to develop the blushed colors in cultivars, also the regular bearing crossed with Amrapali, which is crossed with sensation, which is semi-vigorous regular bearer, red colored and medium sized fruits around 50 gram, moderate total soluble solids around 19 Brix. It has having better shelf life around 10 to 12 days and is suitable for export. Another is Pusa Surya. It is not clone, it is selection. Basically, it is Eldon, which was introduced from the USA and selected as Pusa Surya in our country. Its plants are semi-vigorous, regular bearer. It's having attractive apricot yellow color, medium-sized fruits. It's having medium TSS, similar 10 to 12 days shelf life as the Pusa arunima, and it is suitable for domestic as well as the international markets. So few recently released the hybrids of mango, Pusa Manohari and the Pusa Shikha, which were earlier released in this year. Manohari is the cross between Amrapali and Lal Sundari, which is regular bearing. A peculiar characteristic is that it is field tolerant to the mango malformation, up to 10 to 15% is reported from this cultivar. And you also remember the another accession or name given during the development period, that is hybrid 8-11 to this cultivar. The another is Pusa Divshika, which is the hybrid 11-2, which is the cross between Amrapali and Sensation. It is also a regular bearing, and you can see in photograph this Pusa Divshika 11-2. Now, having quick recap about the genetics and breeding, what things are going on, what the inheritance pattern, all those things I try to cover. As such, I have not included floral biology. You can go through it, but the inflorescence is basically a panicle which consists of the perfect, that is hermaphrodite, as well as the staminate or male flowers. The total number of flowers in panicle may vary from 1,000 to 6,000. And it was reported that the first reported in case of the Dasheri cultivar by Singh and co-workers in 1962 that it is cell incompatible. And later it was also reported in other North Indian cultivars like Kolangra, Chausa or Bombay Green. Also, the phenomena of cross incompatibility was also reported from these cultivars, whereas the Dasheri is cross incompatible with Chausa and Sapeda Malihabad, and the Jahangir with Rumai and other many more examples are there. Basically, I mentioned that chromosome number is 2n is equal to 2x is equal to 40. And another one confusion regarding the Belli column one, which was earlier reported to be tetraploid, that is 4x is equal to 80 chromosome number. But all subsequent studies have confirmed that it is not a diploid, but it is only, it is not a tetraploid, but it is a diploid. And also said that mango is a allopolyploid origin, as reported by Mukherjee in 1951. That and it is based on evidence that it is having high chromosome number as well as correspondingly very high number of nuclear chromosomes. Secondary association as the metaphase and regular pairing and disjunction of bivalents and absence of multivalent formation and having good fertility. These are all the characteristics of the species which are in allopolyploid origin, whereas those which are autopolyploid in origin, which have multivalent formation instead of the bivalents. As far as inheritance of the important desirable traits is concerned, the upright growing habit of tree is dominant over the spreading, and spreading is dominant over the darkness. So darkness is governed by recessive traits, and strong linkage has been found between bearing and fruit quality. The biennial bearing is dominant over the regular bearing, and regular bearing is controlled by the recessive genes, and which was found to have close linkage with precocity in bearing. The bunch bearing habit is dominant over single fruit bearing. The presence of beak marked with sinus is the dominant trait. A transgressive segregation for fruit size observed in F1 hybrids. Basically, the mango skin color is governed by multiple genes, but the red skin color is found to be under the control of the action of duplicate dominant genes. Resistance to floral malformation seems to be controlled by recessive genes, and the bacterial canker is governed by the cytoplasmic inheritance, where Neelam is the susceptible cultivar, and the spongy tissue is also recessive trait, and the resistance to it governed by the recessive trait, and polyambrani is the dominant trait in mango cultivars. So, what is pre-selection criteria? So, based during the crop improvement program, we can use this pre-selection criteria for early prediction of the hybrid, improving the efficiency of the breeding program. And the concept is not new. It was earlier reported, firstly given by the Van Mons in around 1880s. And in case of mango, leaf flavor is found to be directly correlated with the fruit flavor. Also, emergence of new growth flush, which was simultaneously with fruiting or immediately after the harvest, indicates that the tree is going to be regular in bearing. One another criteria is the ratio of phloem to xylem. Higher the ratio, least vigorous will be the cultivar. If this ratio exceeds the one, the trees tend to be least vigorous. If this value is between zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.1, the trees will be having medium vigor. And if this ratio is having ratio is less than zero point 0.6, the trees will be most vigorous. The higher amount of phenolics in apical wood has also shown to be associated with the dwarf stature of the plant. Also, the lower stomatal density was related to the dwarfness in the mango. So, what are particular donors for a few desirable traits in mango which are helpful in the crop improvement or which were used earlier are being utilized in the crop improvement program? For regular bearer, which is a dominant character peak, which is the particular of the Bangalore cultivar. The dwarfing genes are found in creeping, which creeping is the cultivar which is lacks the apical dominance. Another Kerala dwarf, another person, Manjira, Amrapali, Nileshwar dwarf, all these are having dwarf genes. Trailing tree characters were found in case of the Latara. Cultivars like Janada Pasan, Suvarnareka sensation, and most of the introduction from Florida were found to be imparting attractive field color to the mango. The Neelam, why it is also known as best combiner because it is regular bearer, flesh color as light yellow and which is dominant over the orange yellow color. The few cultivars which were reported free from malformation like Elaichi, Bhaduran, Badam Samar Bhaistu Rampur, Mia Sahib, Vatsapta were reported, but though not doesn't result in any success achieving any malformation resistant cultivar. Cultivars like Latif and Hoor are free from powder mildew. Bombay green is having resistance to bacterial canker. Mangifera laurina, as I mentioned earlier, is resistant to anthracnose. Sorry, it's immune basically. And Tommy Atkins, Keat, Parish, Fairchild, these are the cultivars which are having resistance to the anthracnose. The bacterial disease, which is bacterial black spot, which is caused by Xanthomonas campuses, Pathomangifera indica. The cultivars Carabao, Namdak, Moi, Sensation were found to be donors for resistance to this disease. And turpentine and 13-1 are the rootstocks which are utilized in breeding programs. So there are a few conceptual flowering models which were proposed by different workers. Among these, mainly carbohydrate regulated flowering models or hormone regulated flowering models. I cannot explain in detail because of the limitation of time. But for the JRF particularly, you don't have to go in detail. But if someone is interested, can read about these models. The first one given by Curl's model, we can call it, and which was given in 1987 and first after modified in 1991. Basically, it is related to the movement of the carbohydrates and the nitrogen content and base ratio between carbohydrate and nitrogen content, that is CN ratio. The second model, assimilate supply and diversion model, which was given by Chapo in 1991. And other hormone regulated models of flowering were given by Kulkarni, one which was given in 2004, which famously known as trifactor hypothesis of flowering. The most important you should note down about these, and after that, the comprehensive conceptual flowering model was given by Davenport. As far as the fruit quality traits required for the export cultivar of the mango, where the fruit size, which is around medium size, to 50 gram, attractive shape, uniform, dark bright or red color peel, pulp yellow to orange, fiberless, more than 70% of the pulp content in fruit. Stone should be small to medium size, free from fibers, shelf life more than 15 days, free from spongy tissue, stone weevil, fruit fly, and without sap burn. And vapor head treatment is mandatory for the export of the mango in Japan, and irradiation treatment of gamma rays is mandatory for exporting the cultivars to the USA. Quickly moving towards the physiological disorders, you can go through in detail. I just mentioned them or try to incorporate them. First one is clustering or chunka, which was first reported in UP 1984. It is mainly due to the lack of pollination, and the cultivar tertiary, which was found to be highly susceptible for disorder, followed by Bombay green and Chausa. Another is spongy tissue. All are well aware about this tissue disorder. And the soft nose Florida, Kent. It was reported first in Kent cultivar. Is due to the high nitrogen, low calcium content, insidious fruit rot, which is another name which was called in Malaysia. Internal brown necrosis or Galtarok is another disorder which results in pulp browning and occurs more in sandy soils. The taper tip disorder is more prominent in the sherry cultivar. Intensification of normal skin color occurs, and abrupt tapering occurs in case of this disorder. The tip pulp is another yellowing of the tip occurs. The jelly seed formation, complete disintegration of pulp occurs and is prevalent in Tommy Atkins cultivar. The girdle necrosis, which is the disfiguring lower half of the fruit. The another sap burn is due to sap and lenticel browning. Major diseases which were reported worldwide, among these the decline disorder, what we can call it, called a disorder because it consists of several other factors like it can also known as blight, canker, decline, gamosis, twig blight, tip dieback or stem bleeding, and it is a result of several factors involving nutrient deficiency or hormonal imbalance. But the fungal organism Lachrodiplodia theobroma is the most common and widespread cause of decline disease of the mango. Another is malformation, as we know. The causal organism is Fusarium mangifera, as reported recently, that and powdery mildew, which was first described in Brazil, which is caused by Oidium mangifera. Another disease, Seca or sudden decline or wilt of the mango, which is earlier reported to be caused by Ceratocystis fimbriata, but again renamed as Ceratocystis manginicans. Apical necrosis of the mango, which was first reported in Spain in 1991, which is caused due to the bacteria Pseudomonas syringae, Pathogor syringae, and it basically produced a toxin that is mango toxin. A bacterial black spot of the mango, which is caused by Xanthomonas axonopodis, Pathogor mangifera indica, Neelam is susceptible, and the Bombay green cultivar is resistant to this disease. Uh, Also, anthracnose also occurs in before the harvest. Also, it can occur, and after post-harvest diseases, anthracnose is also the major post-harvest diseases, mainly due to Glomerella cingulata or Polytrichum coleosporides, and it is the field-to-store pathogen. After the infection in field, it goes to the storehouse, and it's causing rotting or other symptoms typical to this anthracnose occurs in the storage. As prochlorase is found to be effective for controlling this disease post-harvest. Another diseases like Alternaria rot or black spot due to Alternaria alternata, stem and rods, Botrytis, black mold caused by Aspergillus species, transit rot caused by Rhizopus species. Major pests include fruit flies, different genera are causing this are available present in different regions. So Bacteroceras species are mainly dominant in Asiatic regions. The mango seed weevil, Sternochytus mangifera, mango seed borer, Dianolis sublembalis, fruit spotting bugs, Amblypelta lutescens, mango hoppers, Idioscopus clapialis, Idioscopus species, and also the Amblytorus atkinsoni species. The mealybug is also another major pest. Drosera mangifera, Drosera stibengi are these scientific names. So here is few miscellaneous points which I thought will be helpful for you for the exams point of view. In 2018, global production of mango, which was led by India with 39% production, that is 22.3 million tons of the world total production, where China and Thailand were the next largest producer. Gomera, which is the tetraploid stock in Spain, which was reported to salt tolerant. 13-1, which was from Israel, is also reported to be calcareous soils and saline irrigation water. The ratio of perfect to male flowers varies with the cultivar, which is usually less than 50%, but it is strongly influenced by environmental and cultural factors like cool temperatures usually reduce the number of perfect flowers, which is more pronounced in tropically evolved polyembryonic cultivars. The optimum temperature for pollination and fertilization are found to be 22 degrees centigrade day and 22 at the night. Sorry, something is by mistake. It's 20 around 18 should be there. Apple mango is the famous mango variety, which is Kenya in African continent, which has the hard skin like apple. The optimum temperature range for mango growing is 24 to 27 degrees centigrade. Low temperatures 13 19 degrees centigrade are good for flower bud differentiation, particularly under the subtropical regions. The stage of harvesting is very important, indicated by starting of color development, falling of one or two fruits from the plant, that is also known as tapka stage, and specific gravity, which is more reliable for harvesting of fruits, which range between 1 to 1.02. For control of the mango malformation, application of plant growth regulators and phenolic compounds such as naphthalic acetic acid, use of antagonistics and anti-malforming compounds like glutathione, ascorbic acid, silver nitrate, and the control of biennial bearing, that is alternate bearing, can be done by deep blossoming followed by earlier treatment of auxins and smudging and chemical regulation like application of paclobutrazole, spraying 1 to 2% potassium nitrate or calcium nitrate 6 to 8%. The red blush on the mango fruit is mainly due to the presence of anthocyanins, and other yellow color is due basically to carotenoids. Polyambroni has been reported in species like Mangifera casturi, Laurina, and odorata. Remember this point that you most of us know the Polyambroni cultivars we know, but the species in which it is noted down, that is Mangifera casturi, Laurina, and odorata. Although important cultivars of mango in different regions like Alpha Beta in Brazil, Ameli in West Africa, B74 also trademark Calypso, Australia, Aves from Egypt, Hedon, Kit, Kent, Tommy Atkins, and several others from Florida, Turpentine from West Indies. The chilling injury which occurs low storage temperature can injure mature green mangoes if storage exceeds a day or so at or near 0 degrees centigrade to few weeks at just below 12 degrees centigrade. So this is all I think about mango. Uh, I tried to cover most of the aspects, but I couldn't touch every topic related to mango due to the limitation of time. I have to cover the grape also. So quickly moving towards the grape. So basically, moving as like mango berry composition, the berry contains 2 to 4 seeds which are rich in tannin, which is extracted during the fermentation. In case of the red wines, because these are tannins are desirable in case of the red wines. 70 to 80% water and many dissolved solids are present, and glucose and fructose are the main sugars in juice of Chardonnay. Uh, Classified as a high fructose variety, like Chardonnay and Pinot Blanc are considered as a high fructose varieties, and while Chenin Blanc and Zinfandel are regarded as a high glucose variety. But basically, and in fresh mature grapes, the glucose and fructose are present in equal amount. Principal organic acid found in grapes are tartaric acid, also malic acid is present, and to small extent citric acid is also reported. Phenolic compounds, mainly are classified into anthocyanins and tannins, and anthocyanins are again different types are there: manmeridine, cyanidine, pionidine, petudine. Majorly, it varies according to the cultivars: manmeridine or cyanidine, thioglucoside. The major aroma compounds are the methyl antranilate, methyl salicylate, which are responsible for foxy or muscat flavor of the grapes. Mineral compounds like potassium, sodium, iron, phosphate, sulfate, and chloride are also present in grapes. So, indicating it's healthy foods. I won't forget, I forgot one thing, that grapes are also rich in resveratrol content, which is having very medicinal properties, particularly in case of the anti-cancer properties. So, as far as Indian grape viticulture is concerned, grape is cultivated mainly in the concentrated in central India and southern parts of India. Negligible or very less content area is under the cultivation in northern subtropical regions. Although few local cultivars are grown in Kashmir or temperate regions, but it is not commercial one. And also recently the cultivation has been taking place in Mizoram and or northeastern region due to the suitability of the climatic condition, and it is expected that the cultivation will go increasing in this region. So, share of the grape in total food production is concerned, according to NHP data 2018-19, the grape contributes 3.04 million metric ton out of the 97.97 million metric ton total fruit production. And India ranks first in grape productivity among the world countries, which is around 21.72 metric ton per hectare. As far as on world map, India is the seventh largest producer of the grapes, where China is the largest producer, followed by Italy, US, and other countries, according to FAO stat data. So, what is the ecophysiology of the grape growing regions, particularly focusing on temperature, light relations, and relative humidity content? In case of the temperature, the basic range for the growth of the crop is around 15 to 35 degrees centigrade, and 25 to 30 degrees centigrade temperature is considered ideal for the growth of the vines. Whereas the temperature less than 18 degrees centigrade or above 35 degrees centigrade hampers the bud break in the grape. Also, the diurnal differences more than 20 degrees centigrade causes the formation of pink berries, and it is more prominent in the cultivar Thompson seedless and its clones. The ideal color development in grape occurs in case at the 25 degrees centigrade. In case of the light relations, maximum photosynthesis in grape vines occurs around 2,500 to 5,000 foot candles per 100 to 200 watt per meter square light intensity. Foot candle is the unit of light intensity which is used to measure the light intensity. Light compensation point, which was about found to be around 125 foot candle for 5 watt per meter square. And particularly, you have to remember the critical light requirement of Thomson seedless cultivar, which is around 3,600 foot candle for 16 hours at the temperature 36 degrees centigrade. Thompson is the major cultivar, Thompson seedless, which is grown in our India. Around 60 to 55 to 60% area is attributed to Thompson seedless and its clones. The relative humidity, which is very high relative humidity, causes the vegetative growth at the expense of the reproductive growth, and it also results in uneven color development of the grape berries. So here I have tried to summarize the total annual growth cycle of grapevine in India. Basically, the grape production in India is classified into three different regions. The one is subtropical regions, another hot tropical, and another the mild tropical regions. The subtropical regions, which also known as Region 1, which covers the most of North Indian states. Hot tropical regions, which is Region 2, which is constituted of major central states like Maharashtra or Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and northern part of Karnataka. Whereas in case of the mild region, that is the region 3rd, where the grapes are grown, particularly in southern Karnataka and part of the Tamil Nadu. So moving by point wise, cropping pattern as far as concerned in subtropical region, single pruning and single cropping is prevalent. In case of hot tropical region, double pruning and single cropping is prevalent. In the double pruning, which is one is the backward pruning or after April pruning, another is the forward pruning that is done in October period, that is fruit pruning or forward pruning. Double pruning and double cropping system is prevalent in mild tropical region, particularly southern Karnataka and the Tamil Nadu region. Dormancy, as far as concerned, under the subtropical regions, the grapevine goes under dormancy November and December period, whereas in tropical regions there is no dormancy due to the climatic conditions. The foundation pruning, which is not practiced in subtropical regions, then as I explained in hot tropical regions, March to April and May to June in mild tropical regions. The major period of shoot growth period is around March to May in tropical subtropicals and April to June, June to August in hot tropical and mild tropical regions. The major point is the fruit bud differentiation time. It is more complex, as we can see most of the times being asked in exams. So let's clarify this. Fruit bud differentiation under the subtropical regions, which occurs in April, in hot tropical regions in May, and in case of the mild tropical regions, it occurs in July. Shoot maturity occurs May in subtropicals, hot tropical July to August, and mild tropical September to October. So pruning for cropping is done at major. Another is fruit set, which is occurs in April in subtropical regions, whereas November to January in hot subtropical regions. In case of the mild tropical regions, it either occurs in January and July or January to July period or from January to February. It depends on the time of pruning and also the double cropping system is prevalent in this region. So similarly, horizon is occurs at May, June in subtropical regions, January to March in hot tropical like Maharashtra conditions, or August to September and March to April in mild tropical regions. Whereas the harvest period is almost similar or more than 1 month beyond this. So this is about the growth cycle. Now, quickly, taxonomy will have recap. So originally, basically, it is originated in Black to Caspian region, which is vinifera is having origin there, and most of the North, like American cultivars, species were originated in North American regions. The Phytaceae family is majorly divided into almost few genera there, among which Vitis is our importance, and another genera like Ampelopsychus, Parthenocissus, Cissus, Lea, Chiracea are also important for the crop improvement program. The Vitis is again divided into two genera like Uvitis and Muscadina, where Uvitis contain nine species like Labruscae, Cineracentes, Ripariae, Muscadina, Estivalis, Rupestris, Incertae, Viniferae, Labruscoides. In case of the Muscadina, this is reported three species like Muscadina rotundifolia, Muscadia munsoniana, Muscadia popinoi, or recently they are also being called as a Vitis rotundifolia or Vitis munsoniana. The chromosome number of the UVTs is 2n is equal to 2x is equal to 38, whereas in case of the Muscadina, it is 40. Basic difference between UVTs and Muscadina, chromosome number, as I mentioned, Muscadina is also the dioecious. So, bark in case of the UVTs is which shades at maturity and longitudinally straight and fibrous. In case of Muscadina, it is a tight and non-shading. Lenticels are not prominent in UVTs, whereas they are prominent in Muscadina. Tentacles are forked in UVTs, whereas they are simple in Muscadina. Pith, which is interrupted by diaphragm inside the nodes in UVTs, whereas it is without nodes. Like diaphragm is absent in Muscadina. Flower clusters are berry traits are concerned. In case of UVTs, they are elongated clusters and berries adhering to stem at maturity, whereas very small clusters and berry detach one by one as they mature in case of the Muscadina. Seed shape pyriform in case of UVTs with long and short beak, whereas in Muscadina it is oblong and without the peak. Touching to floral biology of the grapes, flowering starts in during March April in North India, whereas in southern and western regions it occurs in few regions twice a year, either in June, July, and November and December. For it, the flowers are borne in clusters or panicles which develops on third to fifth nodes on current season shoots. Most of the cultivars of Vitis vinifera are cultivated. Varieties are hermaphrodite. Pentamerous flowers like five stamens, pistil, and with two locules having two ovules, short style and stigma. The peak period of anthesis, which was reported around 7 to 9 am in case of the North India, whereas 8 to 9 am in South Indian conditions. Anther dioecious immediately after blooming, and dehiscence is completed within the 10 to 15 minutes after the anthesis. Stigma becomes receptive a day prior to anthesis and remains for day after with the maximum receptivity on the day of anthesis. Here I put out pictures of the grape inflorescence, panicle, or signs you can call. This is at before the blooming stage, and the second one is at the pulping stage. It looks like this. Many of us get confused about the type of flowers in grape. First two are these are the male flowers. This is closed flower and this is open flower. The stamens are clearly visible, whereas the rudimentary ovary is there. In case of the hermaphrodite flowers, you can see stamens as well as ovary. And here, in this condition, one term we use the reflex stamen. The stamens are recurved, and totally it behaves as the female cultivar. And this is the typical hermaphrodite where the ovary is present as well as the stamens are present, where they are not reflex stamens. And here also I presented few parts of the grapevine. Most grapefruit bunch, most of us don't know. This part, which is particularly called as the peduncle, and the in between it is this another axis which is known as the rachis, and the branch which arises at the junction, which is known as the primary branch, and the which one which arises at this is the secondary branch, and this one is the pedicel, and the top of the this means at the base of the berry, the region which is a part which we call as the torus. Here are the again parts of grapevine. Many of us are confused about what is spur, what is cane, what is the cordon. So I have tried to put the picture where you can see clearly what is the these are the internodes, the node, and this is the cane, and this is the spur. So in the right side picture, you can clearly see the difference between spur pruning and cane pruning. So in the left portion, You can see this left part, this is the primary arm, which is pruned to a cane. This is the cane pruning we call. And in case of the right side shoot, you can see that these are small spurs are there, and these are pruned to these spurs, and again from there the shoots will arise, which will be bearing the fruits. So the basic difference is that these are the spur prune and these are the cane prune sides. I hope that it will be clear to you. Now, recently reported, not recently, long back around 2002, by Boss and Thomas, that like in case of the wheat, another green revolution mutant is present in grape, which is a grape point dwarf mutant, which was derived from L1 cell layer of the champagne cultivar not mule, produces inflorescence along the length of the shoot where tendrils are normally formed. The mutated gene is associated with the phenotype, which is the homologue of wheat green revolution gene, that is the reduced height we call it as RH1 in wheat, and another Arabidopsis gene, that is GA insensitive gene. The conversion of tendrils to inflorescence in mutant demonstrates that the grape point tendril is modified inflorescence inhibited from completing floral development of the triple acids. So in this picture, you can see that at every in grape, either at the node, every third node, either tendril is produced or the inflorescence will be produced. But it totally depends on the physiological condition of the vine, the CN ratio. If the CN ratio is more than at the place of that, inflorescence will arise, or if the nitrogen content is more, then the tendril will arise from that point. So practically, it can be utilized in improving or shortening the breeding cycle of grapes. Case of the grape breeding. Moving towards the inheritance patterns of the important traits, the inheritance of sex, male is the fully dominant trait, followed by hermaphrodite, and female is the homozygous recessive condition. Berry color, it is black color of the berry is dominant over the red, whereas the red is dominant over the white. Large berry size is dominant over small. Resistance to Plasmoptera veticola and Sinella nicata, that is downy mildew, powdery mildew, is governed by dominant genes. 6 dominant complement genes were involved in the inheritance of muscat flavor. 5 genes were involved in the Labrusca flavor. Seedlessness in grape wine is based on complex system, whereby the expression of 3 independently inherited recessive genes is controlled by a dominant regulatory genes. As far as achievements of breeding programs, cultivars considered, introduction, grape is believed to have come to India from Afghanistan. Bokri, which is one of the oldest introduction in South India by Muhammad Tughlaq in 1338. Nabishai, which was introduced by Abdul Bakr at Hyderabad from Persia around 1890. Major varieties like Perle Delight, Beauty Seedless, Pearl of Casaba, Flame Seedless were introduced from the USA, or other Kashmir Churni, Kashmir Bailey, Rupi Seedless, or from Australia, Fort from Canada, Jumper, Amateur, Portugal, and many others are there. Floral selections which are most of relevance to our country, like Tase Ganesh from the Thompson Seedless, were evolved by Subhash Arve from Nashik around 1970, Manik Chavan from Thompson Seedless by T.R. Dabare, Sonaka also from Thompson Seedless by Nana Sahib Kale from Solapur 1980, Maruti Seedless from Thompson Seedless by Mr. Maruti Mali from Sangli, Maharashtra region around 1994, Sarita, which is also known as Black Sonaka, selected from Sharad Seedless by another T and Kale from Solapur, and Sharad Seedless, which was also from Kishore. As far as the hybridization is concerned, the hybridization work in India started in 1958, IRI New Delhi. Several hybrids like Pusa Navrang, Pusa Urvashi, Aditi, Tushar, Pusa Purple Seedless, which was recently released, which is the cross of POC, that is Pearl of Cassava, into the Beauty Seedless, which is the very early maturing in North Indian conditions. And the another breeding program which took place at IHR Bangalore with achievements like Arkavati, Arka Nilamani, Arka Krishna, Hans, Sham, Trishna, Shweta, Majestic, and Arka Chitra. So for as an assignment, I give you to try out the process of these hybrids. Moving towards the mutations, mostly the X-ray mutations were carried out, and the renew perlate, red Niagara, robin cardinal from their respective parents were evolved. As the polyploid breeding is concerned, tetraploids seedless early giant case were evolved from cultivars like Delight, Campbell, or Sultana. The commercial rootstocks, briefly, I tried to compile them. The nematode resistant to stock like 1613, Dockridge, Salt Creek, which is not true Salt Creek, which is the Ramsey, true Salt Creek, which has Doaniana, Harmony, Freedom, Falexilla resistant to rootstock like St. George, AX21, 1202, 99R, 3306, Liberia Glory, Delki 5A, Isopo, that is selection Oppenheimer 4, and donor species like Estivalis, Berlandiari, Cordifolia, and Triperia. Salinity tolerance mainly present in the rootstocks like Ramsey, Dockery 1630, Rupestis, Lot 99R, that is 99 Richter. Drought tolerant rootstocks like Rupestis, Lot 110R, 140R, 1103 Paulson. Nutrient use efficiency, whereas St. George is having high nitrate and potassium uptake, and Ramsey and Dockery is having high nitrogen uptake. So most important, the tropical viticulture is mainly based on the application of plant growth regulators. I'll try to compile them, and the effects of auxins are concerned. The different auxins like Na, IPA, or OCPA are used. Na is mainly used in different concentrations around to 15 to 20 ppm. Spraying at berry formation stage or dipping treatment is done, which controls the flower and berry drop, improves berry shine glossiness, and prevents the berry drop in transit. Also, the IPA treatment, which around 1000 to 1500 ppm, dipping of cuttings, which promotes the rooting of cuttings during the planting. 4CPA at the concentration of 10 ppm, which first spraying the berry size is around 3 diameter, or second spraying is around 6 diameter. It increases the pedicle thickness, as someone mentioned, that it will typically help in reducing the post-harvest berry drop due to the better attachment of the pedicel. Effect of the gibberellin, the major role of the gibberellin is in the viticulture, and there is none other crop than grape where its role has been identified. The gibberellin different concentration and different stages used for improving the different traits of the berries, like at the before flowering 10 to 15 ppm, it's spraying, it increases stalk length of the bunch. Around 20 to 25 ppm spraying or bunch dipping at 25%, 50% cap fall, or 75% cap fall, improving thinning of the berries is done. Around 35 to 40 ppm concentration, a bunch dipping is done after the fruit setting for thinning of the bunches. Also, the 30 to 40 ppm concentration of gibberellic acid plus cytokinin around 2 to 3 ppm. A bunch dipping treatment is done at 3 to 4 berry size, which increases the bunch size, or alternatively, the 6 to 7 berry size is done to increase the bunch size. Role of cytokinase is also important. The 6-BA and CPPO are majorly used. 10 ppm concentrations at 15 to 16 leaf stage. Different stages are mentioned here, improving fruit setting as well as berry size and shape. CPPO is also either separately or in combination with the GA. 3 to 4 as mentioned earlier, or 6 to 7 berry size, increase stalk thickness, berry size, and promotes the round berry shape, maintains the green color of the berries, particularly in white cultivars. The effect of ethylene at 100 ppm concentration 5 days after bud sprout following April pruning, it reduces the apical shoot growth. Also, at the 15 to 16 leaf stage following April pruning, increases the cane thickness. Also, in the different concentration, it is being utilized, and results are found to be improving the color, DSS, and also sometimes breaking the dormancy of the grapes. So, physiological disorders, major ones I could characterize here: the barrenness of wine, which is mainly due to the defective pruning and training practices, which is mainly prevalent in Anabishai and Pusa seedless cultivar under the North Indian conditions. Water berries due to inadequate nourishment and high nitrogen application. Short berries, particularly due to the boron deficiency. Hen and chicken disorder due to zinc and boron deficiency. Uneven ripening occurs due to inadequate leaf area and non-availability of reserves for the development of the bunches. Flower and bud drop or color or shelling, also known as, due to the low CN ratio, low auxins, gibberellic acid, and cytokinase. Majorly prevalent in Thompson seedless, Pusa seedless, Bukri, Gold, Kishmish belly. Pink berry occurs, as mentioned earlier, high diurnal inflorescence temperature more than 20 degrees centigrade. Major insect pests I have showed photographs in case of the root knot nematode, thrips or mealybug. Another are also there, like Pierce disease and other diseases are like downy mildew, powdery mildew, and anthracnose are prevalent in the particularly in the South Indian viticulture. So again, for exam point of view, I try to compile a few things like indigenous grape species, which is Rocosa, Himalayana, Parviflora, or Vitis vinifera is the cross originated from the cross Vitis vulpina into Labrusca. Indigenous varieties like Rankspe, Sholto White, Sholto Red are grown in the Kalpa district of Himachal Pradesh. Muscat Hamburg found to be tolerant to anthracnose. The cross between Eubatis and Muscadina, where the F1 is produced but is found to be sterile, reflects Tamil varieties like Hur, Angurkalan, Bankia, Beat, Kattakurkan. Muhammad Tughlaq introduced Mukri, Fakri, Sahibi varieties at Aurangabad, Maharashtra in 1338. Multiple allelic hypothesis of sexual types was proposed by H.P. Olmo, 1970. H. Olmo was famously a famous grape breeder and evolved multiple varieties of the grape. Pruning, I mentioned about forward and foundation pruning. Sugar acid ratio at the time of maturity for export grapes is around 20 is to 1. Cost benefit ratio are different for different trading system, but the Bauer system is having highest around 1 is to 2.09. Minimum pH is required for resin grapes around 18-degree Brix, or maximum 24 is considered as the best. Sulfur pads or grape carts contains the KMS or potassium metabisulfite, which prevents the botrytis infection during the transport or transit of the grape. Pearl of cassava, that is earliest maturing variety in North India. Red globe is strictly a greenhouse grape, but break different chemicals like Dormex or Thyrea is used. Ganzin 1 and Harmony are phalanx or resistant rootstocks of the grape. Grape follows the double sigmoid growth curve and it's typically a pre-harvest climacteric food crop. Vitis riparia is the most precocious species and can be used for the induction of early flowering in breeding in crops. Marjorie Navin, developed by Inasi Grapes Pune, which is clonal selection from Sentinel seedless, and it is also a self-thinning variety. Purple, Punjab University PAU also released one hybrid, that is Punjab Purple, which is cross between Catawba and Beauty seedless. Chardonnay is popular worldwide for white wine, sparkling wine. Pierce disease, which is caused by bacteria Xylella fastidiosa. So this is all about. I tried to cover most of the questions. I think I have crossed the time limit. So if you have any queries or questions, you can mail me on this. My mail is mentioned here. I would love to answer your questions. So ending with every time you eat or drink, you are either feeding disease or fighting it. So eat healthy and stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Desapping.
But yes,
Yes, actually, after the harvest, people used to earlier without the pedicel. So what happens actually the sap which exudes from the gut end, which causes the sap burn. So using this desapping, the fruits are cut around 1 centimeter pedicel kept along with the fruits, and fruits are kept in inverted position. So until the sap is oozed out, and then they are processed further. That is the procedure of desapping.
Sir, what is that spur and can, sir?
Okay. Can you repeat?
Sir, sir, what is meant by spur and cane?
Okay, so spur and cane, as I mentioned, this cane are the mature shoots. In case of the, I showed in that figure in left side part, the cane is matured shoot, and whereas spur, where continuous pruning or fruiting spurs, pruning is continued for year by year, and after that, shoots bear on that spur, which will bear the fruits.
RKN disease.
So it's not disease actually. I short put it as a root knot nematode.
What is meant by trifactor hypothesis in mango?
Factor hypothesis. That is it is a flowering model of flowering proposed by Kulkarni in 2004, and there are several hormonal regulation of flowering occurs. So it is in detail a very long process, but in general, it is proposed to describe how the flowering is regulated by the action of different hormones like gibberellin or auxins or CN ratio.
So what is the difference between the water heat treatment and vapor heat treatment?
Vapor heat treatment and
Bottom heat treatment.
Water heat, water heat,
Bottom.
bottom heat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, vapor heat actually done for the control of this eradicating fruit fly and stone weevil from the fruits. So for the export purpose, and it is mandatory for exporting fruits to the Japan. And in case of bottom heat technique, it is basically uh, for used for rooting of the cuttings. Routing purpose under the greenhouse chambers, particularly the heat treatment is given to the basal parts of the plant so that the rooting occurs in the plants. So that is the bottom heat treatment.
Okay, sir.
Sir, the first systematic hybrid developed in mango, either Prabhashankar or Mallika, sir.
Systematic, you say, then it is Mallika. But only first hybrid, then it is Prabhashankar. Prabhashankar and other
Oh,
hybrids were not developed to a planned manner.
Okay, sir.
Sir, what's the difference between forward and backward?
Okay, forward and backward pruning. So backward pruning basically also known as foundation pruning, which was done during double pruning single cropping systems, done in April, basically for after the harvesting, which completes almost in March or the at the start of April, where the pruning of the vines is done, and vigorous pruning is done up to the 1 to 2 buds in case of the for tropical vines. And after that, these severely pruned vines will bear the shoots, which will again will be pruned in the forward pruning, that is in fruit pruning in October, which will actually result in the bearing of flowers of panicles.
Sir,
Sir, is
what is
there
meant by third
any
generation mango hybrid?
Sorry,
Sir, what is meant by third generation mango cultivar?
I'm not gaining. Hanuman, can you please tell me?
Sir,
Third
third
generation
generation.
mango cultivar. What is meant by third generation mango
Okay,
cultivar?
third generation. Okay, she's asking about the generation.
Yes.
Okay, so first introduction of the mango, which was from India. I think Mulgova first introduced in Florida, which was flowered in first time 1910. From that, different crosses, different hybrids were released or cultivars released, like Irvine and others, Glen, Springfells, and from Irvine, that selection, so selection of the another, that is third generation mango. Sorry, Irvine was selected as third generation.
Sir, is there any dwarfing stock for grapes?
Dwarfing rootstock. Uh, as far as I have not gone through it, but it may be there, but I didn't see it anywhere, because already grape is can be manipulated easily as such you want. So there is as such. I don't think there is need for dwarfing rootstock in grape, because it is not that much like mango tree or like your other perennial fruit crops. So height can be easily manipulated in case of the grapes, but I didn't come across any rootstock, dwarfing rootstock in grapes.
Sir,
Sir, what is
sir?
Sai bearing?
Sorry,
Sai bearing, what is Sai bearing, sir? Sai bearing cultivar.
Shy bearing.
Siberian cultivar.
Sir,
No, no.
Sai bearing, sir.
Vishal, shy bearing. It is alternate
Shy
thing
bearing.
like that.
Okay, okay. Shy bearing. Okay, okay. Sorry, I couldn't get it earlier. Shy bearing means it is uh, it is not readily flowering under the favorable conditions. Like few cultivars will be means precocious flowering will not be there in those cultivars.
In 1 year
Means
it
they are,
can be flower. In next year it will be flower like that. Like
yeah, yeah.
alternate bearing hybrid.
Yeah, means they will not be very responsive to the flowering.
Yes.
Sir, short culture in mango and clean basin management in apple both are same or different?
Sod culture.
Yes, sir.
Sod culture, it is different. I think sword culture is growing of intercrops or like green manuring crops. Clean basin management is like keeping everything clean, as mentioned by Sir earlier.
Sir, what is caging technique? Mango.
Okay, so caging technique is particularly discovered for the utilizing for controlled pollination in mango, basically. So in this, which was earlier first reported by R.N. Singh and co-workers in around 1961, and in this caging technique, insect-proof nets are used or conditions are maintained where the self-incompatible mango cultivars are uh, uh, planted. And in this cage, freshly reared house flies are introduced so that they can pollinate them. So there will not be any contamination from the foreign pollen due to this self-incompatible nature. That is the caging technique. But it was failed under the daily conditions, uh, but still it is relevant under other conditions.
Sir, sir, what is the role of heat unit in grapes?
Heat units particularly are used for determining the ripening period or maturity period of the wines. If particular amount of heat units, these are the required for particular crop. In case of the grape, around I think 3,000, 3,600. It depends on the variety of cultivar, and according to that, that much is minimum is required heat units to mature or develop ripe the cultivar.
Sir, how we can calculate heat units?
Sorry.
Sir, how we can calculate heat units?
Heat units, there is one formula for calculating the heat units, that is the maximum temperature, this minimum temperature, the average is taken and number of days in month, which is and base temperature use. And exactly, I don't remember the formula, but it is like that only.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Okay,
Sir,
thank you.
ideal TSS for processing grape.
Processing grapes. Processing for what? Raise what purpose? 18 degrees centigrade. 18-degree bricks is a minimum requirement of the TSS. But for processing, I think it will range from 22 to 24-degree bricks. High TSS is required for the raising cultivars.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
High TSS mango variety Beatrice.
High TSS.
High TSS mango variety.
Highest or okay, there may be many varieties are having high TSS. Particularly, Amrapali is having around 22.5 degrees, maybe the high TSS. I don't know about others, but another one reported like Xavier or Cypress. These are reported that around 28 or like that highest TSS varieties.
Sir, some book in Saheb Kasan high TSS 27.
Yes, I have gone through it. It is more than Xavier, I think. But commercially, they are not going. But as far as commercial point of view, Amrapali is having highest TSS. But as of all cultivars concerned, I think a 5% is having highest TSS.
Hello, sir. Sir, heat
Yes,
units is measured in lux, kilolux or feet candle, sir.
heat unit.
Yes, sir.
Heat unit. Actually, exactly, I don't remember. If you want to know, I will search about it and will tell you. You can
Okay,
contact
sir.
me on the mail.
Sir, in exam point of view, what units they will ask, sir?
Sorry, for exam point of view,
What units they will ask, sir?
units for heat units.
Yes,
Units means
sir.
I'm not getting your question.
Sir, in exam point of view, what units in heat units they ask in kilolux or feet candle that like ask, sir?
They directly give the heat units only.
Heat units directly, I think they will queue, but
Uh,
I will go through it once
Vishal,
and then.
Vishal, a heat unit is in degree days or what? Like foot candles for the other light intensity for the foot candles, I guess.
Sorry.
Degree days is in
It is
degree days, I guess,
Yeah,
for the
degree
heat
days is
part.
also used. Degree days mainly. So I am not getting what he's saying. The kiloflux or foot candle. The foot candle is basically light intensity unit.
Yeah.
So heat units, basically degree days are used to measure the heat units.